Hi, I'm Sarah from Quail Cottage.
And I'm Katie from Grown by Lightning Hollows.
We're two flower farmers here in Australia, and together we're your bloom mates. This is another monthly wrap-up episode, but we're cheating this month. It's not quite the end of the month. We've still got 1 week to go, but we're a bit squeezed for time, so we're recording this a little bit early. And I think we've got enough to talk about from 3 weeks of November. It might just be a little bit shorter than normal, which is probably a good thing.
Yes, we've got, I think, either side of us, some very long interviews with people.
Very long.
So, yeah, hopefully you'll appreciate a bit of a snappier episode.
Yes. So,
although, give us feedback on that. We'd love to know whether you have a preference.
Yeah, actually.
Yeah,
make us feel better about how long our episodes are. So let's jump in like we always do to weather.
The weather.
What it's been like this month.
It's been dry.
Very.
It's been hot, dry, windy. We've had 1 day of rain, but today was forecast to be decent rain and it's not. The sun is out.
There's been rain forecasted so much that has disappeared throughout this month. And the last decent rain we had there was 1 day in October that it rained. I actually went back and looked through the BOM's history of rainfall in Maitland. And there was 1 day of actual decent rain in October. And before that, it was August when there was the last multiple days in a row of heavy rain. So, I don't know what classifies as a drought.
It's feeling that way.
Looking at the grass, it feels like a drought. It looks like a drought.
A couple of days ago, we had some rain, but in amongst it was 30 in the 30s. And by the time I got home from work, things were already dry. You could not even tell, putting your finger in the soil, it was dry, which is so sad.
Very sad. Yeah. So it's been a tough month, especially with the temps being so high.
Yeah. For the last month of having spring flowers.
Yeah. Things have wrapped up very quick, but we're lucky to be on town water, Katie and I. Some of our friends are on tank water, and one of our friends has had to give up her spring season basically, and another's struggling. So we're in a good situation as far as water goes. What jobs have you been doing this month?
I have been quite dahlia focused again, which I think that's what I said last time. So that's a little bit sad and a bit of a reminder of how time consuming they are.
Yes, they are.
I've planted out most of my beds that have available space. I've just got some beds that are going to be a later planting because I'm waiting for things to finish flowering in those spots. But I'm kind of up to, I've pulled a couple for virus. I've had a couple of tubers not come up, kind of at that backfilling stage. Yeah. You've planted your dahlias?
Yeah, we've finally got all of ours in. I've been avoiding it because they stored so poorly that I had this block as far as dahlias go because I had
disappointment.
Yeah, negative emotions around them. I was like, I'm just going to ignore those until I can't anymore. But they're finally all in the ground. I say all. I've only got 80 this year because they're not a main crop at all. But I'm excited about the varieties that I've got. Yes. And it's basically just been the weeds have been so bad. And it's at the point now where the weeds are going to seed because it's so hot. And it's making me feel so bad about myself that I've left the weeds to go to seed. I'm like, oh boy, next year's going to be fun.
Yeah, I feel like I did that last year, and so I'm currently dealing
with that.
Yeah. They're depressing, my weed situation, although I have a working bee at my house next week.
Yes.
And so I've been saving some weeds up for that, shall we say.
Gee, thanks.
Yes.
But that'll be good. You'll be amazed at how quick stuff gets done. I mean, you were here for the working bee that I had here, and we were done in 2 hours with the amount of people that we had. Oh, yeah. And I mean, I was looking at my list of things that I'd written. I was corralling. I haven't been corralling, but no, it wasn't me. It was Sam. Sam has been doing lots of corralling.
Nice.
Because last year we didn't lose the zinnias, but they all toppled over in the wind, and it prolonged the time between cuttable stems, I suppose, because they toppled over and then had to grow up straight again. So Sam he didn't want that to happen again.
That's awesome.
So he got the corralling done early. And I've just seen your note that you've been collecting seed. I've been collecting seed too.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm inspired by Casey's episode that we did.
Yeah.
I never usually do any seed collecting, but yeah, I've collected seed from Bells of Island and Covent Garden Jip. And yeah, the Jip I'm excited about because now that I've done that, that's in a bed that has been very weedy, but I've just been waiting for the seed to be ready.
Yeah.
And then finally with the Bells of Island, it's in a spot that has just been growing by itself for the last 2 years in a raised bed with blueberries in it. So like they shouldn't be growing there. But I had really poor germination and growth with my Bells of Island.
Well, you had
this spring.
intentionally planted them.
Yeah. But they're all have germinated in the last month. I've planted another crop in there, so I've been irrigating it. And yeah, I've got all these Bells of Island popping up. And so, yeah, I'm hoping to have an autumn crop, which I did last year in this like accidental space. I had them flowering for Mother's Day. So, yeah.
Oh, that's going to be good.
Yeah, I hope so.
Yeah.
I don't want to put too much
into it.
Yeah, because obviously we've got so much of like heat of summer for them to have to live through. But yeah, I'm excited that I might have nice bells for autumn or even in winter.
Yeah. And if you can leave some of them to go to seed.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Now that they're actually growing in the place that I want them to be, I feel like they'll be there forever.
Yeah. Good. I've been collecting corn cockle seed.
Nice.
And some forget-me-not seed.
Oh, yeah.
We're going to have corn cockle seeds available on our website soon. Maybe forget-me-nots. Casey messaged me actually saying that I should sell the forget-me-not seeds as well. I replied to her saying, I don't know if I'll have enough to share because I've been cutting so many stems that I haven't been leaving many for seed. But they are something that produces a surprising amount of seed per stem.
Yeah.
So I may be surprised.
Yeah.
We'll see. I think that's all the seeds. Yeah. There'll definitely be things that come up unintentionally, but actually intentional seed saving, that's what I've got. Yeah.
As previously mentioned with the weather, I've been working a lot on setting up more irrigation, which is helpful, but it's bugging me that that's what's taking up a lot of my time because I just want to be like planting and weeding and doing all of the things. And I feel like it's such an like unseen thing, but it will save me time.
Yeah, it sure will. And it's funny. We did the same thing. It's a job people say. People tell you it's a winter job.
True.
Get your irrigation set up in the winter, in the off season. But no, we always do it when it's urgent.
When it's crunch time.
Yeah.
Yeah. Of being like, these plants are going to die because I'm not having the time to water them.
Yeah, we did the same thing. And you've been cutting back your chrysanthemums?
Yeah.
Like, so does that mean pinching them?
Pinching them, basically. Yeah. So the traditional times to do that are Melbourne Cup Day and Australia Day. So I've done most of my plants for their November one. I need to go back through and like a few that were a bit too small or some that had only just been planted out that I haven't done. But yeah, I'm up to about 1,200 plants, which is cool.
Wow.
Yeah. So I think I had maybe 600 last season.
Mother's Day is going to be big. You'll be able to share with florists this time.
Yeah. And I've kind of been trying to think like as I'm planting, thinking about how am I going to do that? Like in terms of there's going to be ones that I have like in really large quantities, but they're going to be ones that they can easily get from the bigger farms. Whereas I have smaller quantities of the more heirloom variety. So yeah, I'm not exactly sure how I'm going to offer those. But yeah, I'm excited.
Because you can't just give them all the good ones. You want some of the good ones as well.
Yeah. And because unfortunately, because I lost so many in the floods, like the story of the season, they're not planted in blocks. So I don't know how many of each plant. I won't know how many of like Jador I'm going to have until the flowers come out. So I'm not going to be able to pre-sell to florists like that unless I do some sort of like colour mix as opposed to really specific varieties. So yeah, I'll probably
I think they would be fine with.
Yeah.
Speaking of the losing things in the floods.
Yeah.
I feel like what you said to me the other day, you should share with the podcast as well about why you lost so much in the floods and realised.
This is kind of something that like it's just taken me a long time to put together, that there are crops that I would say I lost them in the floods that the beds didn't actually go completely underwater or the plants didn't die when they went underwater. Like an example that was a complete loss was some of my lace. I had a whole bed of lace which had great germination. The bed went under in the floods, but then the plants didn't die. It was still like a really thick sowing that was there. but they basically just looked the same. Like they just never grew. They maybe stayed the same, went a bit yellow. Over winter, I was thinking, yep, this is good. And then as spring progressed, I just realized they're not growing. And eventually I just turned them back in because it was just a waste of space.
Organic matter.
Yeah, exactly. But yeah, what I've realized is it was that, like, because I'm growing on clay that got completely saturated, there was just no aeration in the beds. They were just rock hard. And even the beds that I did turn over and plant, like I planted my feverfew after the floods, and they've also been pretty sad because it was too wet to get the tractor in. So I just got them weeded to a state that I could plant into them, and then planted in when the ground was still really saturated, and they've basically just turned to rock, even like...
Yeah. I remember coming over and picking up a piece of, because you were talking about how much you'd been edging the beds.
Yes.
And you were absolutely wrecked from it.
Yeah.
And I picked up a chunk of soil and it felt like a brick, how hard it was. Like no wonder you were exhausted having to shovel chunks.
And no wonder the plants are struggling to establish, and they're not dying, but just everything that I've grown in that area has been smaller.
Yeah. The roots can barely progress, barely move in that concrete.
Yeah. So what I've done with my feverfew bed is I've gone through the garden fork and tried to loosen it. And even some of the plants, I've literally lifted them up just to try and get air in and let water in. Now that it's rock hard and super dry, the water doesn't penetrate. That was back 2 or 3 weeks ago, and they're already looking so much better. So I feel like that's kind of proved my theory.
Yeah.
So it's just interesting because I've been making reference to all these crops that I lost in the flood, but it hasn't actually made sense in my brain as to why even things that I sowed after the floods and that sort of thing, why it didn't recover like I expected it to. And yet it has, the last 2 months have been pretty tough in terms of being short on flowers because of, it's like 10-meter beds basically that I had planted.
I feel like this is positive information though, because it means that if you improve that soil, those beds, even if they do go underwater, if you can improve the soil and maybe put some kind of retaining wall up or something to stop like good topsoil from washing away totally. Even if you put like boards just on the bottom side of every bed, I don't know.
But if you probably have to have living roots holding the soil in. It's probably the only way, really. So that just is a matter of
timing.
One hard thing that I've also been dealing with, and lots of growers in our group in relation to improving the soil, is that we've had herbicide contamination in our compost, which is so sad because we thought that we'd found this really great source. And
it was. It was a really great source. The compost was incredible. It was like brownie mixture. And Katie and I even like started seeds directly in it and didn't even mix. Actually, I mixed a little bit of vermiculite through mine. But you did it just directly.
I've used it all in all my seed starting. And so, that feels like a real loss in terms of, just like I think feeling like what's the best way to improve soil? Adding lots of compost. And then when that feels like a risk, it's definitely hard. And I think, we're still kind of like working with the supplier on that.
Yeah, because they're really upset about it as well. And I mean, we should give some more context. We won't name any names, but there's a compost producer, that's the word, a compost producer, and that's where we got our original batches from. And then they started supplying to a landscape supply place, which is very local to us, and
multiple as well. It's not just the one company. Because there's other local growers that have got it through another landscaping supply company.
The landscape supply companies, that's where these batches that have had herbicide residue in them have come from. And one of our grower friends, Madeline, actually contacted the producer directly. And they were really upset to hear about it, and they offered to deliver directly from them again to any of us who were struggling with it. So I don't know if anyone has got a batch yet. This is all very like fresh from this month. So we'll report back on that. But I'm hoping, because the reason that this producer started creating their own compost is they were a market gardener themselves and couldn't find a good source of compost locally. Yeah, so we'll see.
Watch this space. Hopefully in our December wrap up, we'll be able to report back that we got it directly from the producer and it was clean and fine. And we're back on track.
We should explain too that landscaper suppliers, they generally mix other stuff through the compost to like create potting mixes or like garden mix and that sort of thing. So we're hoping that it's not the compost that's the issue and it was the additives, but we'll see.
Yeah. What's been flowering for you in November?
Zinnias and cosmos have started, and I've written a note here because I find this information interesting. So hopefully other people will. I direct sowed both of those, zinnias and cosmos, on the 6th of September and cut my first bunches on the 13th of November, which is 68 days, which I feel like is like that's what the seed packets and websites say.
Days.
But I like to know.
Totally. I sowed mine on the 10th of September, so only 4 days later, but mine don't have harvestable stems yet.
Were they direct?
So yeah, I guess I would imagine your soil is a more ideal situation.
Where did you?
Mine are in beds that have never been grown in before. It's the very first thing that's not grass. Yeah, they're not the compacted ones. And the plants, this is part of like what made me realize is the things that I rotary hoed and then sowed into in spring grew a lot better and overtook the other stuff. So yeah, they're still looking okay, but they're like, there's just not as much nutrients in the ground as something else. And yeah, these particular beds hadn't even had a cover crop, which a lot of my other ones in this area got cover crops last year before planting. These have just gone straight from pasture to zinnias. But yeah, like I was really surprised seeing your zinnias and like that you've got really lovely long stems on them because I can cut, mine are flowering and I can cut little stems, but I definitely don't have that height yet.
Yeah. Well, before we planted into those beds, we top dressed with the last bit of that really good batch of compost that we had. So that probably has something to do with it. Yeah. We've got Jewels of Opar has started, or Ruby Jewel as the florists know it. All of my various lace flowers, chocolate, I grow Ami Magus, whereas Katie you grow both, don't you?
Yeah, I've got chocolate lace, Ami Magus and Ami Visnaga.
Yeah. And my 4th succession of corn cockle that I started in early spring has just started blooming. It was kind of an experiment to see if they would, produce well this late in the season. And it's not that late in the season if you live further south. But for us, we've had temps of over 35 degrees several times already. And they're great.
That's so good.
Yeah. So I'm going to do more successions next year.
That's kind of proof that
I've only got 4 beds that I grow corn cockle in. So like in my head, I'm like, well, I just want to do 4 successions, but I think I'll do my first 2 successions as 2 full beds. And then the ones for like later in the season, because there's a bit more risk, I'll do like half a bed each.
How have you found the comparison between the blush and the white in terms of demand was what I was thinking?
Yeah, not as much for the blush. I mean, people like it, but obviously with wedding work, it fits more white.
Can be used for more weddings.
Yeah, that's right. And the blush is like a cool toned blush.
Okay.
It doesn't lean peach at all. True blush, if anything, it leans slightly lilac-y. It's not purple. It is blush, but it couldn't be used as a bridging colour like peach can. So it's less adaptable. I don't know.
Yeah. Have you thought through what you'll do in terms of white to blush next?
I've been trying to decide because I didn't give blush a good go because I lost half of it in the flooding, in the rain, because they rotted. I think I'll grow it again, but just on not even a full bed probably, or maybe not even out in my corn cockle section. Maybe I'll grow it somewhere else so I can give that
white the priority.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. Oh, that's really interesting.
Yeah.
I've had my kind of like November flowers have been lilies, sunflowers, and glads.
Yeah.
Which after October of having no real focals has just been such
So good.
so nice.
Lilies are like, as much as they're not like a trendy flower, they're so useful.
Totally. They're so big, easy to cut and store in the fridge. Yeah, I have been really loving them.
And there are some very cool varieties.
Totally.
Like certain varieties are really popular with the florists.
Yeah. Which if you follow my Instagram, mine have not been cool, popular ones. Mine are just stock standard, a mix that I bought because my lilies last year I bought really expensive ones and they were a complete crop failure.
Yeah.
My own fault because I didn't give them priority of where I put
Yeah.
them. And so this year I wasn't planning, like I was kind of felt like I was done with them and then saw some on sale and grabbed them and I'm so glad that I did.
Thank
but
God.
they're super basic, but they've been really great and they've been selling.
You don't need, like for your purpose of filling this gap before the dahlias for your flower stand, you don't need like, I feel like it's a more sensible business decision to buy the basic ones for your purpose.
That's true. Yeah, and they're like, can be half the price.
Mm-hmm.
And I haven't offered any of those three things, lily, sunflowers or glads. I haven't been offering to florists because I haven't had enough of them to really warrant it.
Yeah.
Like, even my sunflowers.
And you need them.
Yeah, and I just I haven't had enough to even be able to offer a full bunch necessarily all at the one time.
Yeah.
I don't know.
They're just starting to trickle in.
Yes, they've been a trickle, which has been perfect for retail, but for florists it just hasn't been worth offering. But what I have been selling to florists, I've had Nigella for most of November, which has been great. I've had like pink, white and blue and I've just been selling them as a mix and it's been pretty popular. Like mostly sold out. I've had Campanula just the last 2 weeks, which I love. So pretty and actually
gorgeous and so impactful and like a really valuable stem because it takes up so much space.
And so 2 weeks ago was the first week I had it and I took it to the harvest and I didn't sell any. I don't think. I think I only had 2 bunches, but I didn't sell any. Oh, that week it was really quiet.
That was the really quiet week. There weren't many. Oh yeah.
It was just people picking up their orders. Like there was no one who was just kind of browsing and and
it was also because the growers didn't have much because it was really that crossover season lull between spring and summer blooms ending and starting. So I suppose it wasn't incentive enough for many florists to come along. Yeah.
So I brought the Campanula home and then got to use it myself and it was so nice. And then I thought that would happen this week. I think I'd cut like 4 or 5 bunches of it and was really like in my head already like had planned what I was doing with it for my bunches and then it all sold, which was great. Like, and it was so nice to see people come in and see it. Like one of the florists literally just like walked straight to it and took all the bunches that I had left, which was lovely.
And it matched her dress.
Yes. Yeah. And then, I've also had Digiplexus flowering, which is like a perennial foxglove.
And it's been so popular with the florists. They love it.
Yeah.
It's just a little bit different. Like the flower almost is like a modern take on a normal foxglove. Like the shape of it is slightly different. It's a little bit more, it's not as soft.
It kind of reminds me of a snapdragon in terms of its overall shape. Like it doesn't. It looks like a foxglove.
It's still got like a prominent point.
Yeah, it's like a straight spike in a similar size to a snapdragon, I would say. Yeah, as opposed to like foxgloves quite often can be massive.
Yeah.
Although my foxgloves at the moment, I still have the Dalmatian peach foxglove.
Which is amazing.
As side stems, so they're small.
Yeah, I need to get mine in a bed that's irrigated for next year.
Yeah, I have mine planted in 2 spots and the one with decent irrigation or better irrigation, like a flowering, I think others are completely dead. Yeah, but they're good. But the Digiplexus have been really great. And
the colours are so beautiful.
So many flowers at the moment. So they all put up one big central stem and then cut that and then maybe the next lot was like 3 per plant and now this is probably their 3rd flush.
Wow.
And it's like 10 per plant and they're all like a little bit smaller but they're still very usable right now.
Wow.
Sellable.
How old are these plants?
I planted them in autumn.
First year plants?
Yeah.
I wonder if they'll get more productive the more established they'll get.
Yeah, it would be great. I mean, I currently have a cart with like 20 more that I'm on the verge of ordering. I went to check out and
Is
then
this Dice?
Yeah.
Oh, thank God. Because
Oh, yeah, I
when you
haven't checked it
messaged
out.
me to see if I wanted anything from there, I was like, no, I don't need anything. And then I walked past my Sanguisorba bed and realized that I have like 4 gaps to fill.
Oh, I don't think they have any.
Oh, they're sold out.
I think they're sold
Damn
out.
it. That's all right. It's
We'll have
not
to double
it's
check,
not
but-
urgent. I just was like, damn it, that would have been
Yes.
I should have thought of that.
No, I got to the point of the $30 postage and was like, do I really need this stuff? And I haven't ordered it.
I'm just thinking the Digiplexus is a really, if it produces that many stems and it's a perennial and it's tougher than an annual foxglove as far as like water and sun and heat
Totally
goes.
The flower quality on them at the same time as the flower quality on the
Yes.
the not like traditional foxgloves, is so much better. Again, this is very new to it. It's my first season growing it.
And where are they? Are they in a really good spot?
No,
or...
they're in beds next to each other.
Oh,
both
wow. I
with-
feel like for our climate, Digiplexus
Yeah.
is a heaps better option.
Yeah, and the last ones I planted like when it was already quite hot, and they've settled in fine. 2 of them are already flowering in short little stems, but
How much are the plants to buy?
normally around $8.
Like obviously it's if you wanted a lot of them.
Yeah,
Like if you
can
think
get them from-
about,
you can get them from Ball. Sorry,
oh, you can?
you can. I haven't like
In a tray?
inquired. Yeah, I mean they're listed on Ball, like on Ball's website. I haven't inquired as to like whether they're only available at a certain time of year or that sort of thing. And I think they're maybe $4 or $5 per plant there.
Yep. Still better.
Yes, and if you're wanting heaps of them, you'd go that way. But yeah, so that's a new crop that I'm really loving. And yeah, I think with my cart that's pending, it'll be the difference between being a full bed or not. Currently, it's a bed with some other stuff mixed in. And I'm like, do I just want the whole bed to be
I think you
bed?
should.
Yeah.
I think that's like a really smart investment.
Yeah, and then that will kind of finish off that garden, which is 6 10-meter beds as all, perennials /
Where are we?
the orchard.
Okay, thank you.
It'll be perennials / I'll have 3 beds of dahlias that get flipped with delph.
Wow. And then, perennials. How good.
Our brain.
Let's move on to like just general updates for the month. We talked about how it's been quiet.
Okay.
Yeah. We have both been working on websites, which is exciting. Ours launched last night as we're recording this. And the reason for our website was we're going to be selling seeds. And also, I feel like I can say the other thing, actually linked to the podcast, a downloadable resource about selling wholesale to florists, just the way that I do it and my processes, and even like how I use my Google Calendar to keep track of things and stuff like that. That was like the catalyst for building our website.
And in the time that I have been working on my website, Sarah has come up with that idea, actioned it, and it's out, as opposed to you saying that we've been both working on websites. I was like, I don't think I've done anything in November on it.
That's so funny. You also like hired someone to do it because you are time poor, and it's also not in your repertoire.
No.
Whereas like I went to uni for marketing and PR, and Sam went to uni for graphic design. So it's very much in our repertoire. So when you're like outsourcing something, I feel like, and when there has to be like back and forth communication and you can't just do stuff yourself, that is a bottleneck.
Yeah. And
to getting stuff done.
Parts of it, I guess, has been lots of giving feedback and wanting things changed. And I find that really difficult. So every time that like it comes back to me, I'm like, okay, well, now there's these things that aren't right. And then I put off actually doing anything on it. Yeah. So I found that hard.
Knew that you were doing that without you even saying that. And that's why I went into your website and gave very detailed feedback in a Google Doc so that you could turn that into an email.
Yeah. So hopefully by December, maybe I should set myself that goal that I'll have a website. But it's probably not going to be, Sarah's will be interesting because it's got, you've got also a blog section about growing.
Yes, I wanted it to be like, I don't know, I get really like fixated on information, and then I'm really excited about that information that I like go down a rabbit hole and find, and I want to be able to have a place to share that. So that was another reason that I wanted a website. Yeah,
so definitely check out Sarah's. Mine I don't think will be of any interest to anyone. Mine's just aimed at selling bunches retail.
And wedding stuff, because it will be probably mainly your customers
Yes, that's it. And it's
rather than other
so
farmers.
yeah, I feel like our websites definitely have very different
Yes.
feels. I'm trying to fix a bottleneck in my business because at busy times of the year, Valentine's Day and Mother's Day, I really struggle with the admin of taking orders because so much of my retail is through the flower stand where I don't do orders and there's no communication.
Yeah.
The times when I do need or I get lots and lots of pre-orders, it's really difficult. So that's kind of my goal, is to have the website set up for that. But anyway, hopefully by December, I'll be able to say, my website's done. Hooray.
Oh, like it is. It's a workable, usable website.
Yeah.
There's just like copy stuff that needed changing and pictures that needed to be taken, which Sam has now done. So that's checked off the list. And photos that he put, like your web designer, he obviously like isn't in the flower world, so doesn't understand. He's put like irrelevant photos on the wrong pages.
Totally.
Yeah.
Yeah. Like the dried flower one being a wedding bouquet is something that I have mentioned before, and I don't think he understands what I mean.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
I have done lots of like screenshotting and being like, this photo now needs to be replaced with this photo.
Yeah.
Because, he just needed some photos before I'd had any taken that could be used
as placeholders.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So, that was hard, which maybe I should have done it the opposite way around and had the photos ready to go. But anyway, it's been a process.
And speaking of the website, I've got my first blog post up. It is very in-depth and detailed and long, but it's all about growing pansies and selling them as a cut flower. And when I say detailed, I mean like I go into physically how I harvest them and how they grow along the ground. And they trail, so you can't just look at the plant and know if the stem's long enough to cut. You have to like feel the stem. In your case, because your plants are further apart, can you tell just by looking at them?
No, I was going to say, I think I could have started picking mine a lot earlier had I actually investigated. I was looking from the outside and I'd been like, I'm never going to get to pick these. They're never going to be long enough. And then when I was desperate enough to actually cut some, and I was like, oh, these are totally long enough.
Yeah.
I just didn't realize.
Nat said the same thing to me. She didn't think her pansies were long enough. And I was like, I bet if you actually like feel them, they are. And they were. I even talk about like not specific pricing, but like why I price mine high, because they're a very time consuming crop. Yeah, and specific varieties as well. So there's lots of information there. And
as a pansy newbie, it was very helpful. I enjoyed it.
I'm glad. And I will be doing more like crop specific blog posts because I love to deep dive on stuff like that. Yeah. What about you? Any other updates?
I've been kind of playing around with when I harvest flowers, and I'm
because you've got a fridge now.
Yeah.
So good.
I'm thinking about kind of setting some boundaries for myself that I can't harvest every day of the week, because that's, it's usually
not
done.
Sustainable.
Exactly. Yeah. And it's kind of taking away from my family a bit at the moment.
Yeah.
And so, I'm trialing the workflow being that I harvest Wednesday mornings and Wednesday evenings, depending if I can't get it all done by the time it heats up on Wednesday mornings.
Because Wednesday's your day off?
Yes.
Yeah.
And then Thursday, they're ready for Thursday for going to the harvest. And then that Wednesday morning and evening harvest will get me through till Saturday. And this is something I'm kind of like working with. I'm trying to do lots of vase testing of how long when things are stored in the fridge. So that's storing from Wednesday till Saturday.
Yeah, with zinnias especially. Is that what you're worried about? Because you can't really put them in the fridge?
No, that hasn't occurred to me. That might screw me over. Maybe zinnias will only be sold on certain days.
I feel like
the other things
I feel like you don't need to worry. Like if you think about our florists.
Yeah.
We pick for them on Wednesday.
Yeah.
Some growers pick on Tuesday. Then they're not getting them until Thursday. And then often they may not be sold for several days.
Yeah. I think I'm just so attached to that, like fresh, getting a lot of like people getting good vase life because they're buying straight from a farm. So it's taking a toll. I need to restructure in some way. And this way, I
think an extra 1 or 2 days in a fridge is not
a big deal.
Not a big deal.
And so this week I harvested mostly Wednesday night because my son he normally harvests with me on a Wednesday morning, and he was just like being an absolute menace. But then Thursday night, like I work on Thursdays at the moment. came home Thursday night, made up bunch for Friday and Saturday, and then put the Saturday ones in the fridge, like made up, wrapped, ready to go.
Oh,
and so that
nice.
meant that last night was Friday, I came home from work and was able to spend the evening with my family rather than being out picking. And like some Fridays I would harvest between 5 and 6:30 and then come in and have dinner and then go back out and be out there till say 8 or 9.
Yeah.
And so that's just a lot of pressure. Yeah, I mean, on my husband,
Yeah.
he has to do so much work for that. So I'm just trying to find ways to rearrange my schedule to not be like absent in those times.
And also be like more efficient for you as well.
Totally. Like, yeah, so on Thursday, I made 20 bunches and then went to the house and then came back over later and made 15. Like that, I'm slowest on those first few bunches and then it speeds up. So I can do things in a big block. I've mentioned before that I'm dropping a day of my off-farm work next year. So in 2 months' time.
Yeah.
And I will then have Wednesday, Thursday off. So I'm thinking Wednesday harvest, Thursday arranging, and then everything is in the fridge, ready to go. And I will...
Yeah, Friday and Saturday.
Yeah, exactly.
That'll be great.
And kind of the reason that this has come about is that, we've had dinner plans. Like last week we went out for dinner Friday and Saturday night.
Yeah.
And
you guys are very social.
Yeah.
I don't know how you manage.
No, I'm not managing. I'm like, that's why something needs to change.
Yeah.
Yeah. But going out 2 nights over a weekend, I found it really stressful because that time is normally really productive for me. But also it's not fair that I force our family into also not being able to do things on those. So yeah, that's kind of something that I'm playing around with.
Yeah.
I don't know how it will go, but I'm hopeful that it might.
I feel like that's a really good change for you as well, as far as like not becoming resentful of it.
Yeah. Yeah. And I guess it's all part of the scaling up thing.
Yeah.
Before, when I was only making 8 bunches, I could fit that in at any point.
Yeah.
But trying to do these larger quantities. But yeah, so that's something that I've just kind of had like bouncing around in my head and that I'm working towards at the moment.
By next year, when you do have that extra day off,
I
feel like you'll have a really good workflow going on.
Yeah, I hope so. And yeah, it just feels the juggle of everything and the prioritizing when you plant stuff and when you weed and what, if you've only got time for one, what thing do you do? Like all of that is hard.
Have you thought about the reason I bring this up? I had Trish from Kesara Estate Flower Farm. She's from Victoria and she was here visiting friends. She came to visit and she's like us. She works full time and the farm takes up more time than she has.
Yeah.
So she's hired a couple of teenagers that come every week to weed.
Yeah.
That's all they do, weed.
Yeah.
And I was saying this to Sam. I was thinking it was a good idea for us. And he was like, yeah, but you know what the problem is for us is we have the time. We could do it. We just prioritize, I want to say relaxing, but it's not relaxing. It is recharging.
Oh, totally.
Which at this stage in your life, you don't have the privilege of recharging ever. So we really prioritize that. And Sam was like, I can't bring myself to pay someone to do a job that we could make time for. We just choose not to. But I feel like for you, that would be a good option for you. I guess it depends how things go in the new year with you dropping a day at work and whether that is enough.
To catch up.
I feel like it isn't. Like for your size and also how spread out things have to be, it's like less efficient than if it was all in one area.
I guess it's a bit of like just seeing how things go because I have this like new growing space that you can use a tractor to do lots of things. And I guess like as I learn with that, how much that's going to save me time or not. I feel like it's such a transition period with the business generally, but particularly with that growing space of things like the beds where I'm collecting seed from. I have just let the weeds go, other than the fact they're going to seed, which is annoying, like that they're going to seed as well. I'm never going to weed that bed. That bed will be rotary hoed, which is a compromise because I'd love to be no-till and that's kind of what I've done until this point. But I just, at the moment, I can't.
No.
Yeah, I don't know.
It's also a control issue. Like my first thought was they're going to weed something that...
like the bells of Ireland that are growing in amongst my celosia that I'm super excited about. And I don't care if it swamps the celosia because I'd prefer to have bells of Ireland.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Or
it
like
is a control thing.
self-seeded stuff that
Yeah.
we know what it looks like.
And also just the like, I mean, I've said this when we talked about whether we get employees. I'm so bad at giving people feedback. Weren't doing a good job, or if they weren't being what I consider time efficient, and then I'd feel trapped into paying someone to do a job that I don't think is worthwhile.
Feel like the only way it would work for you is if it was someone who had experience with flowers.
Yeah. My stepmom has come to my house before and just weeded because she's like, I see these weeds and I desperately, like, I try and talk them into moving to Newcastle all the time. And I'm like, you can be my, I would love for her to be my employee. I think I've got my heart set on that, but I've been going on about it for 6 months and they haven't moved yet. It's probably not going to happen.
I thought you were going to say that she weeded something.
No.
I've had that happen before. My mother-in-law weeded poppies out of a bed that, were intentionally there. Yeah. So that's my,
it's hard to let
let go
of
of
that sort of
control.
stuff. And having someone that you trust and that has a good work ethic. And maybe teenagers, it's just all be about finding the right people, right? Like, and a bit of trial and error. But I don't feel I'm there yet.
Yeah.
But we'll see. I mean,
and your kids, like, I don't know, in the next, how old's Isla? 4, 5?
She's 5, yeah. Like she starts school next year.
Yeah.
So again, that's a big
in like the next
period
3 years, she'll probably be old enough to like give pocket money to for jobs like that.
Yeah, totally. Or like Lyndall from Pioneer Flower Farm. She has teenage kids and she pays them to do, like her son particularly will do the heavy lifting type jobs for her.
You've still got a ways to go with Lockie.
Have you not seen him on the stirrup hoe?
Lockie's 2.5.
Yeah, he's definitely not trustworthy, actually. He destroys. But he's good value. Actually, I've got a random tip for kids is that we got a load of river sand delivered.
Yes.
It's like it's in the flower patch because we've been using it as we've needed it, and they love it. So like having a sandpit, and it's so good for getting stuff done while I play, and like it's a reason that they want to come down there. Yeah, it's awesome.
That's such a good tip.
Yeah,
and she hasn't even got like beach toys or anything down there. It's literally just sand, and it occupies them for hours.
Yes, it's so good.
That's a really good tip.
But I think that's pretty much most of what's been going on.
Yeah, me too.
Yeah,
I haven't got anything else to add, I don't think. We've got some exciting episodes to come out. Actually, the one with Ash will have already come out. That's a really good episode. I'm partway through editing that. And I'm finding it really interesting listening. I was part of the conversation and I am finding it interesting listening back.
And then we've got like a very business focused episode coming up after that.
That's with Nikki from Grown Not Flown and Duck Duck Pig Flower Farm. Yeah.
And we're kind of coming towards the end of our season that we've planned for the podcast.
We are actually.
So if you've got suggestions as we start looking ahead to plan our next season, let us know. This is a good time. If you've got topics that you feel like we should cover or particular people that we should approach.
Yeah, send us any ideas you have for next season if there's anyone you want to hear from.
And a couple of people reached out about the episode about the farm stand and just saying bits and pieces helped them. And it's so lovely. It's so encouraging to know that that there are people listening, that it's not just our family.
That's true. There was one about like your mindset shift from when you don't sell out, you were struggling with that, but you shifted your mindset to wanting to have enough for everyone who wants to buy flowers from you so that there was always, some left over. And they said they found that really helpful, didn't they?
Yeah, it's so lovely. Definitely continue. We love hearing from you.
Yeah, we certainly do.
So make sure you follow and subscribe wherever you're listening to our episodes so they drop into your feed, and follow us on Instagram where we share even more blooms behind the scenes, and if you're lucky we might even show you the weediest corners of our farms.
Bye.